Okay. Today, we will continue the new matrix factorization. So today we will cover the singular value decomposition and the pseudo-inverse and polar decomposition and non-negative matrix factorizations. Okay. You all know if we have a symmetric matrix, it is always unitarily diagonalizable. It is diagonalizable. But not every matrix is diagonalizable. So we now extend the concept of matrix diagonalization to n by n matrix. So not necessarily square or symmetric, resulting in a matrix decomposition. And study pseudo-inverse and least square solution using this matrix decomposition. You will find some useful the website and movie clip on the lecture on singular value decompositions here. First, singular value decomposition theorem. Let A be an n by n real matrix, then there exists an orthogonal matrix is U of order M and orthogonal matrix V of order N and an n by n matrix sigma such that U transpose AV is equal to this block matrix. And here the main diagonal entries of the sigma 1 are positive and listed in the monotonically decreasing order, and 0 is a zero matrix. Actually, in this way. So sigma 1 is a diagonal matrix whose diagonal entries are positive and like this, in the decreasing orders. Okay. So matrix A can be written as the U sigma V transpose, because U and V are orthogonal matrix, so its transpose is inverse, so A can be written in this way. So this U matrix is a orthogonal matrix whose column vectors are also normal, and V is a matrix whose the row vectors are also normal. And the sigma matrix looks like this. It's a block matrix, and this with the three zero matrix is here, and this diagonal matrix has the positive entries in a decreasing order like this. This is called a singular value decomposition of matrix A. So now we have a n by n matrix, then you have orthogonal matrix U and V, and the diagonal matrix, generalized diagonal matrix sigma, like this. So in singular value decomposition, we could have several different forms. When we have an n by n matrix like this, we could have this form, singular. If m is greater than n, then we have the m by n orthogonal matrix, and m by n sigma matrix, and n by n orthogonal matrix like this. Or if m is less than n, then we have m by n orthogonal matrix and sigma matrix and n by n orthogonal matrix V, like this. Or we can have proper sizes like this and like this, depend on the conditions. So we could find several variations of the form in singular value decomposition, depend on the size m and n and the length of the matrix A. Okay. Here's the definition of singular value decomposition. This form with the orthogonal matrix U and V this form is called the singular value decomposition of A, and the main diagonal entries of the matrix sigma are called the singular values of A. These are called the main diagonal of this matrix is called the singular value of A. In addition, the columns of U are called the left singular vectors of A, left singular vectors, and the columns of V are called the right singular vectors of A. It is defined in this way. A V is equal to sigma U, and A star U is equal to sigma V. So if you multiply U star here on both sides, then U star A V is equal to sigma times U star U. And if we multiply V star here, then V star A star U is equal to sigma V star V. Like this. Okay. This is, so here we call this is, the columns of U are called the left singular value because it's on the left, and vectors, the columns of V is called the right singular vectors of A, because if you multiply, it's because this star means you could think this one on the right side. Okay. Anyway, so suppose you have a 2 by 2 matrix A like this, then the singular value decomposition of this matrix can be written in this way. Like here, sigma is a diagonal matrix of size 2 by 2, and the orthogonal, the columns are also normal, so it's orthogonal matrix, and orthogonal matrix U and V's are here. We transpose. Okay. So A can be written as the orthogonal matrix times sigma, which is almost diagonal matrix, and the orthogonal matrix V star or V transpose. Okay, we can go one step further. Let the decomposition A is equal to U sigma V transpose be the singular value decomposition of an n by n matrix A, when m is greater than or equal to n, where sigma 1 to sigma r are positive diagonal entries of sigma. Then V transpose A transpose A V can be written in this way, and U transpose A transpose U can be written in this way. Okay. Here, this means, U transpose A, U, V can be, singular value decomposition is like this, and sigma 1 is a R by R matrix, diagonal matrix, R by R diagonal matrix like this. This is very simple. Since A is equal to U sigma V transpose, so if we multiply A transpose A and V transpose and V on left and right like this, then as you see here, this can be simplified in what? Here, this turned out to be V transpose times sigma transpose times U transpose. So it should be like this. So U is an orthogonal matrix. So U transpose U going to be an identity matrix, and V transpose is an identity matrix. So V transpose V is another identity matrix. So it's all gone. So what's left? It's a sigma transpose times sigma. This, okay. So V transpose A V is this, which is a product of these two. What that means is, this is a diagonal matrix times diagonal matrix, and the submatrix sigma 1 looks like this. So this sigma transpose sigma is a diagonal matrix whose main diagonal entries are sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square, up to sigma r square, and all the rest are zeros. Samely, if you do compute A transpose, then A times A transpose, then same thing happened. What you have is going to be sigma times sigma transpose. But sigma times sigma transpose is also a diagonal matrix whose first R terms are sigma I square and all the rest are zeros. So here, this matrix is a n by n matrix, and this matrix is a n by n matrix. They are both diagonal matrix whose first R diagonal entries are sigma I square and all the rest are zeros. So this is a direct consequence of it, of the singular value decomposition. Okay, suppose these sigma i's are singular values of an n by n matrix A. Suppose we have R positive eigenvalues, the R singular values of n by n matrix A, then the matrix A can be expressed as follows. A can be written as what? This uj times vj transpose. This is going to be a rank 1 matrix because we have n by 1 times n 1 by n. So it's going to be a n by n matrix. So we have n by, okay. So we going to have what? Rank 1 matrix here, and we multiplied the singular value here. So we have what? Summation of R rank 1 matrix. Actually, linear combination of R rank 1 matrices. So A can be written as a summation of R rank 1 matrices. So this equation called a rank 1 decomposition of a matrix A. So with the right singular vector and left singular vector and the singular values of A, every matrix can be written in this way, with the summation of R rank 1 matrices. When we have R singular values of the matrix and by matrix A. Okay, next. We also, if A is if we have a singular value decomposition like this, A inverse can be found in this way if it does exist. Okay, because the U and V's are orthogonal matrix, so its inverse is transpose. So V inverse is just V times sigma inverse times U transpose, can be easily found if A is invertible. Okay, but if if we have a singular value decomposition and A is a non-singular matrix, then A inverse can be found very easily. These are the singular vectors are here, and this is just it comes from the singular values of the matrix A. But if A is not a square matrix, or A is a singular matrix, okay, in that case, this does not hold. We cannot have this simple eigen inverse of A form like this. In that case, we could construct a pseudo inverse A dagger of A by putting sigma into the form like this. When sigma is equal to in this form, when this sigma 1 is non-singular, because sigma 1 looks like this, if then sigma i's are all positive, then this is a non-singular matrix. So we can have sigma 1 here. Then with this, we can define a pseudo inverse like this. Okay. For an n by n matrix A, the n by n matrix A dagger, which is V times sigma prime times U transpose, is called a pseudo inverse of A, where UVs are orthogonal matrices in the singular value decomposition of A. And the sigma prime is like this. This is not an invertible matrix, but this sigma 1 is invertible, so sigma 1 inverse can be found, so put it in here and define it as a sigma prime, then A dagger can be defined in this way. Okay. We call this is a pseudo inverse. If A is a non-singular matrix, then A dagger is itself A inverse. It is the same. We read this pseudo inverse as A dagger. If A is a zero matrix, then A dagger is defined as a zero matrix as well. Okay. So now we can have a pseudo inverse at least for any size of rectangular matrix. Okay. Now we can think of the pseudo inverse for any matrices. Next, truncated singular value decomposition. What is a truncated singular value decomposition? We learned that singular value decomposition for any matrix A, so that U is equal to U S V star, U sigma V star, V transpose. Let's take a closer look at the matrix, this S or sigma. Remember, this S looks like this, and is a diagonal matrix where the sigma 1 looks like this. And this sigma is singular values, positive singular values of the matrix A. Then, a full length decomposition of A is usually denoted by A is equal to UR sigma 1 VR transpose. So here, we only use first R columns, also normal columns of U, and we only think the first R linear independent orthonormal vectors from the orthonormal matrix V, where UR and VR are matrices obtained by taking the first R columns of U and V respectively, like this. So we just have the sigma 1, which is an invertible matrix. Okay. Okay, we can find the scale length approximation. We have so with this idea we can find the K length approximation or truncated singular value decomposition to A by taking only the first K largest singular value and the first K columns of U and V. What this means is, even though we have a very large size matrix, we have a singular value, non-negative singular values and we have many zeros. We don't even have to use whole singular values. We can use a certain number of only just first K meaningful, sufficiently large sigma i's to have this truncated singular value decomposition. Then this matrix, this truncated this matrix, is going to be much handy to handle. How this truncated singular value decomposition can be used? Rank K approximation of A, the same thing. Let A be an n by d matrix with right singular vectors vi's and left singular vectors ui's and corresponding singular values sigma i's. Then A can be written as this. Here, what this means is A matrix can be written as n by r and r by r diagonal matrix and R by D orthogonal matrix like this. And this matrix A can be written as this is a rank 1 approximation. And here, for K, let AK is the first K terms of this. We only choose the first K terms among all these. Be the sum truncated after K terms. We just cut off all those. So it is clear that AK has rank K. So what this means is we could have a million by million size matrix, or million by 2 million size matrix. We could have about 5,000 singular values out there, and all the rest of them are zeros. But but among the 5,000 non-negative singular values, positive singular values, still about 4,000 singular values could be very small. And we only have the meaningful large singular values about 100 or 200 only. Then we just truncate all those the million minus 200 the eigenvalues, and just think about 100 or 200 singular values only. then we have only 100 or 200 sum of the rank 1 matrices to handle. That it will significantly save our time because the small singular values does not affect much on the real problem or real images. So this rank K approximation can be used in many ways. If we could take a look at it here. Here, truncated singular values and its complication. This has optimality properties. This shows how we choose the K. So this K is like I said. We just choose the first certain K terms with the meaningful the actions, and these can be used in image processing and many applications because it will significantly save our times and computations. So it has many applications. All can be done with the singular value decomposition. Okay, then next, how do we find the pseudo inverse by singular value decomposition? Suppose we have the singular value decomposition of matrix A like this, and this diagonal matrix can be written in this way, and then D dagger can be written in this way, D inverse, generalized inverse can be written in this way. And then the pseudo inverse of A is defined as A dagger, which is U plus D dagger plus V transpose, like what we saw. So if we have a singular value decomposition, then A pseudo inverse can be easily found. And the singular value decomposition and pseudo inverse. So actually it seems that A dagger depends on the specific choice of U and V in a singular value decomposition for A. But the next theorem shows that it's not so. The least square solution of the smallest norm of the linear system, AX is equal to B, where A is an n by n matrix, then X dagger can be written as A dagger times B, which is A dagger was found from the singular value decomposition. Then what we have to do is the least square solution of this linear system application can be found as the singular value decomposition and the inverse of it, general pseudo inverse of it, times just B. If A is a non-singular matrix, then it is itself the same as A inverse. But this work not only for the square matrix, it also work for any rectangular matrices. Because we can always find the singular value decomposition, and we can always find the generalized inverse of this the diagonal matrix sigma or D or S. Yeah. So least square solution can be easily found with the singular value decomposition and with the pseudo inverse as well. This is a property of pseudo inverse. If A is equal to U sigma V transpose be a singular value decomposition of A, then A dagger A is A, and A dagger A dagger is A dagger, and transpose of A dagger is itself, and the transpose of A dagger A is itself. So this generalized pseudo inverse satisfies all these four properties. Actually, if A is invertible, then A inverse is itself A dagger, then it also satisfies all these four properties. So this is the the property of pseudo inverse. Actually, we can define a pseudo inverse for a matrix A dagger that satisfies these four properties as well. And A plus A dagger looks like this. Identity matrix and this zero matrices are here, and you transpose. A dagger A can be written in this way, can be found in this way. And A dagger square is itself, A dagger A square is equal to itself, A dagger A. What this means are A dagger and A dagger A are orthogonal projections. They are orthogonal projections. So we can even we can use the nice properties of the orthogonal projections with this pseudo inverse. If A is a real normal matrix, then we know A can be a block diagonalized with respect to an orthogonal matrix U. Okay, block diagonalized A. So, so definition: A is called the normal matrix if A transpose equal to A transpose A, or A star is equal to A star A, conjugate transpose. So now we are dealing with the real matrix, so we just use a transpose. If A satisfies this condition, we call it a normal matrix. If it's a normal matrix, it's unitarily diagonalizable, like this. But important thing is, here, we can have a diagonal matrix sigma, but particular, even though it's a real normal matrix, even though it's a real matrix, we could have a complex eigenvalues. Isn't it? We could have the conjugate pair of the complex eigenvalues as an eigenvalue of the matrix A. But what this theorem says is we could have a real orthogonal matrix U and real matrix sigma, real block diagonal matrix sigma, whose real block diagonal matrix, the sigma, which is a block diagonal matrix like this. And this block diagonal, these blocks are 1 by 1 scalar matrix or 2 by 2 real matrix like this. Okay? When mu j is not equal to 0. What this means is, if these are real eigenvalues, then it's all listed as a diagonal entries. If you have a complex eigenvalue, which is lambda I plus minus mu, lambda j plus minus mu j, then you can easily find the similar real matrix of two sides 2 by 2 like this, which is similar. So you can have, if you have a real matrix, real normal matrix, then you have this type of the similar matrix, and you are orthogonal, and the sigma is a block diagonal matrix whose blocks are 1 by 1 real and 2 by 2 real matrix of this form, corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda j plus minus I mu j. Okay. This all comes from the fundamental theorem of algebra. Okay. I think that's about singularity decomposition and what? And pseudo inverse. Okay. Yeah, you supposed to summarize what you have learned today and find a singular value decomposition for one examples. Okay, I expect you to work together, and we will continue for the least square solution. Okay. Any questions?